everybody, it's Bridget Lynn Dolgoff. Sorry I look like a wreck. Sorry my giant boob is in your face. But all I seem to be doing lately is like just 10 years I've just been on the road here and there, and it's been, stressful. It's been a struggle. But I'm still heading back to Reno from managing my real dad's death, which was pretty difficult. I had no idea where he was at. Just a long bullshit government story. One for the people who don't believe in conspiracies, shit. Anyway, I am going to be going down the 95 South. So there is a place that I have just been trying to get to for a long time. Seems like it would be easy since it's only 2 hours north of Reno, but I just seem to go all over the place. Anyway, I'm going to be going to Winnemucca. There's an area that has the oldest hydroglyphs. Anyway, most of them are like carved symbols. They're not paintings. They're like carved symbols. So basically what they are is they are carvings of frequencies. So I always forget what the name of it is. But anyway, there's this, emerging science that supports the fact that a lot of work was done by using frequencies. And in the case of Native people, a lot of their ceremonies and their work with rocks actually created frequencies, and in some cases they could use them to change the weather. If there was too much water, then they could lessen the water. They needed snow, so they could use a lot of these frequencies to do a lot of things, including lift things, gravitate, things, move things, and I think even travel back and forth to their original star family places, or star families could come through and visit them. So lots of different things. But for the most part, a lot of these rocks have a frequency, and so they are made like an acupuncture needle that vibrates for that particular area to hold, let's just say, the balance of the multi-dimensional system, the balance of the physical world or earth, the balance of nature, blah, blah, blah. So there are lots of Native people I've worked with and non-Native people, and lots of stories that come from a lot of this work. So I know for a fact, I've seen this kind of stuff firsthand, that it's fact. So there is this science that they're doing where they take like a tight drum and we'll put like salt or sugar on top, granulated, and then they'll play certain kinds of frequencies. I am so tired, I just can't even put words together, but Syntech, Sonitech, something like that. But they put the different kinds of frequencies in, and it actually moves the salt and sugar into literally different symbols, right? So those symbols are on lots of different rocks. So they're not just painted on. In some cases, the ones that are really designed to carry those frequencies, they've been chiseled in. So a lot of these, you'll see them, the circle type stuff with an N, like a tight labyrinth, other types of things. And so they're starting to realize, and a lot of Michael Telligen's work has talked about that, about how a lot of the areas where he's at, these really ancient areas they were like frequency projectors, where frequencies could be created and they would project the frequencies for whatever use it was needed. So as of late, there was a rock that I believe the Washoe tribe have carved And it was a rock on a trail that I used to use a lot called the Thomas Creek Trail out in Reno. It goes up in the Sierra Nevadas. And I noticed it's gone. They removed it. And it's a rock that holds a frequency. It holds a particular medicine for that area. Well, the archaeologists have decided to remove it, and then they left a sign, said it has been removed to like a geological or archaeological facility warehouse. Well, why would you take something that doesn't, number one, belong to you, that wasn't created to be in a warehouse, that actually is holding the weather and everything else, nature, the very fabric of the past, present, and future in balance, and then you take it. It's like, sometimes I'm just like shocked, but they know that this stuff works. The bad, evil people at the very top don't think that they're, not confiscating this stuff for a reason. Their problem is they don't know how to use it. And some of the stuff's been deactivated, even though it's still there. I mean, it still puts out a hum, a vibration to the area, but it's, a lot of them have been deactivated because the native people knew. They knew what was coming. So they weren't stupid. The medicine people and the shaman people, they knew exactly what to do. So basically I'm going to try to camp out in Winnemucca. I'm going to see if I can't camp out during where some of these frequency stones are. And I want to just see if they're putting off any kind of hum vibration, even emitting a low vibration frequency. And I'm going to douse them and check them out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new energy thing that I've been learning from the people that I work with in what I'll call the dreaming world, people who have not died but crossed over with their bodies, who are of shamanic lineages from all over Asia, Russia, like from all over. So some of them live in the dreaming worlds, or they navigate the dreaming worlds. They live in their own world that they left and created, and then they transport through the dreaming worlds. And I'm lucky enough that I get to have contact with some of these amazing, amazing, amazing people, and they heal me and they give me adjustments and they take care of me and they train me and they work with me, and I'm just really, really lucky. I worked really, really hard. So one of the things that I've been learning about is this type of energy that I'm going to call, I don't really have a name for it, but I'm going to call it the depth charge. And just like if you were to send a depth charge into the ocean and then it would float for a period and then boom, that's kind of the energy. And so I've been using it lately when I'm in different areas and say the energy's like really, really stuck and really, really solid. I'll kind of throw a depth charge onto the ground to kind of fracture that solid energy and open it up so that other, energies in the system can move around in there and kind of loosen it up and open it. So if I get there and there's no energy, I'm going to work with the frequency rocks. That's what I'm going to call them, or hydroglyphs, the ones that are carved out of stone and the different frequency symbols. And these are considered the oldest ones in North America. So very powerful place. And then I'm going to use some of the depth charge energy that I've been working with to see if the rocks are willing to open up the frequency, just to see if it's time, so it can start working. And it might not be time, so all I can do is show up, check it out, see what's going on. So I wanted to give you a little feedback before I do a video, maybe after the fact, and show you what some of these rocks look like. And also I wanted to give you a little bit of feedback. There was, all these Peruvian skulls that they're finding. They call them the red-headed people. The Paiutes called them the red-headed tribes and the Washoe people. And since I'm from Nevada, I just, I end up dealing, I think sometimes Nevada seems to be so backwards. And then on some levels, it's so like multi-dimensional, and there's so much like ancient energy there, and guidance, and just things that I just don't find anywhere else. But okay, so the big Peruvian skull ET people, the big-headed skulls that they find, and they've proven with DNA recently that they are not human. They're not human matriarchally or patriarchally. So there's there are stories from the Paiute and the Washoe people about those people. They also believe, the stories say that they navigated. So, they would have come up the coastlines out of like South America, where they find a lot of them in Peru. And they say that they would have traveled up the coastlines. Well, back in those days, all across Nevada had a lot of water. And they called this water, it was an ocean, the Great Lahontan. And if you look around Nevada, there is tufa everywhere. Tufa is the coolest stuff. And what it is, it's prehistoric coral reef. It's like the coolest thing ever. I'll have to remind myself to actually take some pictures of tufa so that you guys can see what tufa looks like. Anyway, tufa has its own energy. It's very ancient and prehistoric. It has its own kind of vibration that's still held, even though it's like a rock now, like petrified coral reef. Anyway, you find this all over. So they say that there would have been lots of waterways, like rivers and stuff, where if you had gone up the coast of the ocean, you would have been able to travel up a lot of these outlets. And we're talking a long time ago. We're talking like, I don't know, how long do they think those Peruvian big-headed, red-headed, tall aliens, they think that tribe is something like, I don't know, like some of the burials are 2,000 years old, some of them they found are like 5,000 years old. So we're talking a long time ago. And so they would have navigated, and they were probably a race that were living alongside humans. The interesting thing about some of the stories about the heads, these big, heads, if you look at like Tutankhamun, he had the same head. Nefertiti, she had the same head. So it's hard to tell if they were good or bad. I mean, we just don't know. But what I can tell you is that Sarah Winnemucca, who is the princess of the Paiute Nation, wrote a book about the turn of the century, where she talks about her people had to exterminate the red-headed race or the red-headed tribe. And you can read this right in her book. She became an educated Native woman, and she was the princess of the Paiute Nation of, Winnemucca area. Sarah Winnemucca, that was her name. But she talks about how they had to execute them because the red-headed race lived in some of the cave systems there. A very famous cave is called Leonard Cave. And she said that they had been known to steal babies mostly, and sometimes children, and eat them. Like they caught them eating their own people several times, to the point where the Paiute Nation went to the red-headed tribe nation and said, look, we got a big problem because, we don't do cannibalism. We don't eat each other. That just doesn't work for us. And the fact that you're, kidnapping our children and our babies is a big problem. So we'll make a treaty with you, kind of a thing. Maybe not a treaty, but we're just honoring you and coming here and letting you know that, you know, we're not going to stand for this kind of stuff. So the redheaded tribe, these beings, they stopped eating the babies and the children, anybody that was alive, and the Paiutes buried their people. So they're a tribe that buried their people. So they started stealing the dead and eating the dead. And so they were literally the redheaded tribe, these, you know, race that was living along with the Paiutes in the Winnemucca area, were literally digging up dead, you know, Paiute people and then dragging them back and eating them. And the Paiutes like totally kind of finally lost their mind. And they had warned the redheaded tribes. They're like, we will exterminate you. We cannot, yeah, this is not gonna, we've already warned you. We've already tried to talk to you about this. You don't seem to like be listening. So the Paiute Nation in the Winnemucca, you know, all that whole area killed and extinguished out the elongated head race of beings that were here on the planet that they think migrated up from like Peru and areas like that. And so they got rid of them. They murdered them all because, and the Paiutes are not a fighting people. They'll tell you that in their history, there was no food in Nevada. So, you know, eating every day was like this huge epic ordeal. So they were focused on food and feeding their people, and, you know, they ate a lot of bugs and, you know, plant material, you know, roots, things that they could find. And very, you know, commonly they would get rabbits, you know, great, you know, every once in a while they get like a big deer, you know, maybe every once in a while they would get like a bear, but, you know, it was hard foraging on a daily basis. So they ended up being like probably one of the most peaceful tribal people, you know, in the Americas, because they were hungry. They lived in a desert, you know, so the Paiutes were constantly working on collecting food. So anyway, I just want to add on to stuff that I've read about these elongated head, red-headed tribe people, or ET race that came here that tried to survive, and they have all of those mummified bodies down in South America that they've done DNA testing on, and they're not human. But, you know, they said some of these skulls, what we get to see, you know, even though we get to see that they're elongated, we get to see DNA that they're not human, nobody really shows us the diversified things that are on the skulls. So these red-headed elongated skulls, we seem to get, I don't know. Oh, I might have lost the freeway. Okay. Anyway, we seem to get like this, even, you know, in the underground media, we seem to get this like alternative, you know, like version of you know, watered down skulls. So on these elongated skulls, I think I went the wrong way, so I got to go back. But anyway, let me just finish this real quick. So on these elongated skulls, there are a whole bunch of like diversity, right? So they're all elongated, they all have red hair, but some of them have like two horns coming out. Some of them, they found the teeth. Some of them have like two you know, sets of teeth on the top and bottom. And then some of them even have fangs, like canine type fangs. So, yeah, so it's pretty darn creepy on those Peruvian skulls, you know, or what they call, the Paiutes would call the red-headed race tribe in the Winnemucca area. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, I just want to give you an update. I'm hopefully going to stay in camp in Winnemucca and be able to do some of that work maybe in the morning. and use my depth charger and see what happens, and see if we can't get some frequencies that have been already put here on Earth, and see if we can't get them jump started. And if they're ready, we see we're coming to a time where things are getting really ready. But everything's got to be ready. So I may have to leave a lot of energy there that can help the frequency stones. So when they're ready to open, then they can open too. So I won't know until I get there and I do some prayer work, and then I'll be able to know what they need from me, these frequency stones. Okay? Anyway, that's it, and I will talk to you a little bit later. So this is Bridget Lynn Dolgoff with Conscious of Economics and the Urban Farm Project, signing out. And don't forget, I have the Ministry of Consciousness, Nevada.org. And I have all kinds of, sessions that I can do on Skype. Skype video with anybody around the world. Do all kinds of different healing sessions. People always want to know what you do, so I put some stuff on there. Seated shaman sessions. I do those things, but I do a lot more. And it's hard to explain to people, and sometimes I don't know what I'm going to be doing until I open up the field. So that's it, but we always do it in a good way, and I be in a good way, do in a good way, my heart in a good way, my mind in a good way, my heart and mind coming together in a good way, and so I travel in a good way, and so that's my focus. Anyway, I'll talk to you a little bit later. Also, I have shamanic products coming. And hopefully I'll start getting those out. I'm going to start putting some on eBay. But they're handcrafted, different kinds of things that can be given out, as gifts. And they're individually made. I have some native prayer flags that I make with medicines. And I have some medicine bundles. And I just collected a whole bunch of tree sap dried on trees in the Idaho area, like up by Coeur d'Alene. And I'm going to crush that up and make some medicines with, different things in it. And then I'm going to be putting those in bundles. And I'm going to be sending them out to people who want to hold medicine for 2017 for the Dree beings. And hold space for them, and hold love, and hold consciousness for the tree beings, so that we can save them, because the air is getting too polluted, too many chemtrails, they're not being able to breathe anymore, they're falling over dead everywhere, and we can't live without them, so we need to have a focus. So if people are interested, email me on the Ministry of Consciousness, Nevada.org. There's Ministry of Consciousness Nevada at gmail.com. And let me know that you want to be a carrier of tree medicine totem medicine for 2017. And I can totally send you out a tree medicine totem for the tree beings. And I'm going to hopefully get those done in December. So I'm still kind of pulling the medicine together for them. But I would just love that. I think I'm going to be able to do, I don't know, like 25 of them. So only 25 people will get to carry the tree being medicine of consciousness and awareness for the tree beings, and just, put it in your car or your pocket, or put it where you're going to look every day, hang it from your rearview mirror so you see the tree beings on there and you think about them every day in a good way, and you're just conscious of them. So anyway, if you're interested in that, let me know, and I will surely send you out a bundle once I get it all together. And anyway, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, have a fantastic day. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll show you some frequency stones. Yay! Bye.